Hi all. Today we're going to be taking a look at Superman the Man of Steel 19 from 1990, 91 around there. And this is the penultimate battle with Doomsday, between Superman and Doomsday, just before Superman dies in the 90s. Of course, he comes back and everything, but this was a huge event. This is the Death of Superman storyline. It was a six-part story. It began with Superman Man of Steel 18 and ran through the other Superman titles. And they had enough Superman titles like, Superman the Man of Steel, Superman, Action Comics, etc., that they could release a Superman comic every week. And so for 6 weeks, there was the Death of Superman storyline culminating in Superman 75, where Superman dies. And it was all over the news media, and speculators got in on it, and it was a huge event. I think it sold, I think 75 sold 6 million copies. So here we are. And I've been looking at this because this is going to be, towards the end of this year, will be the 30th anniversary of the Death of Superman. It made Superman white hot in the mainstream consciousness again. And I know a lot of people view this storyline as gimmicky and everything, but I always liked this storyline a lot. It lasted for 11 months, so it was fairly tight because they killed Superman, then they had a funeral for a friend storyline where it's like, a world without Superman, and then four mysterious characters come into it and they all claim they're Superman. And then the real Superman comes and fights an overarching threat that's been building throughout this entire series from Mongol. It's really mythic and epic, I thought. So here's the last issue before 75. And you see here that it says 1993 1. So these triangles told you the numbering of the story. So when you saw a triangle 2, that would be the next part of the story. Of course, next part is the Death of Superman, but and everyone knew what that looked like. It was a black bag that had all sorts of goodies in it, like a comic and also an armband, etc., a poster. Let's take a look at WWF Superstars from LJN. So this is like, it's a bunch of video games from LJN. So you got like Super WrestleMania for Genesis and Super Nintendo, and Steel Cage. That's awesome. I'd like to take a look at these games because, WWF games, there's so many of them in the 80s and 90s. I think they hit a peak in 1990, 1991, around there. So here's Doomsday. He's still going on a rampage. This was a fairly energetic and epic storyline because Doomsday just rips right through people. Before all this, he ripped through the Justice League. It was Justice League International at the time, so it's like Fire, Ice, Guy Gardner, some other losers. And here he's destroying some sort of construction site, and he's like killing guys like right on panel here. This guy's warning, to get word to Metropolis, and he poor guy gets his head crushed. And Superman comes into it and continues to fight Doomsday here. He hasn't made any sort of dent in Doomsday here at all. And he's trying to fly him into space, perhaps like suffocate him up there. And here's like Jimmy and Lois circling in a helicopter, giving a blow-by-blow of the whole affair. Here's a Superman game pre-Death of Superman. So Death of Superman, the storyline itself, had its own like 16-bit game. It was out for Super Nintendo, I'm pretty sure. There's one for Genesis. Here's a Superman game for Genesis. I don't think this was out for Super Nintendo. From Sunsoft. It's pretty cool, this game. They do incorporate the flying quite a bit in it, in like shooter style levels, but also like there's the Superman drill down, which he used in the Superman the movie. That move is in this. It's pretty neat. I like this game. it looks pretty cool. I never had a Genesis, but I mean, I would totally like own this if I did. And here is Superman hasn't even died yet, and and here's an ad for the Death of Superman trading cards from Skybox. Skybox, I think, handled a lot of the DC Comics cards, and so here's like, where were you when Superman died? It's like, it's a big earth-shaking event and stuff, and we're gonna release a 100 card set. I'm pretty sure this card set was out when this comic came out. I think DC Comics really hyped this up and understood what they had, because there was a lot of media attention. Like, it was on the news and everything, and so they milked it for all it was worth. Here's Wwf and Guardian, and I think these guys were created by Jack Kirby, I'm pretty sure. I know Wwf made his first appearance in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen when Kirby was doing that, and they're kind of sitting this one out. I think they've already tried to fight Doomsday and they got knocked out, and here Doomsday twists out of Superman's grasp, so he can't get him into space to suffocate him, and Doomsday comes careening down, and all these newscopters are giving a blow-by-blow, and of course Ma and Pa Kent are watching all this on TV, and they're like, that's our son, and everyone's treating this like it's entertainment and stuff. And Superman's trying to figure out what he's going to do next. Note that every time Superman bleeds, it's black. And I think that's a way to get around the comics code. Yeah, this thing is still comics coded, and so there is a lot of blood here, and Superman does get impaled a couple times by Doomsday's spikes, but the blood is always black instead of red to make it less graphic. And here Doomsday comes down to, so right now their Earth is putting Warworlders on trial, and Doomsday smashes into that, and all these guys escape, of course. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. My first Final Fantasy was really Final Fantasy 2 for Super Nintendo, which blew my mind. And 3 was pretty awesome too. I never got into Mystic Quest. I should look that up and see if it's cool. And here's a comic it never really entered my orbit. Vampires, they're out there, but this time something after them. Scarlet looks pretty cool. I should look that up. So here these guys are thanking Doomsday for freeing them, and he doesn't care. He just slaps them out of the way. And Superman tries to put him in a full Nelson. So I one of the reasons why I like this story too was that more so than the other Superman comics at the time and Superman stories at the time, Superman was constantly fighting Doomsday here, and so it's like exciting. It's just blow by blow by blow. It's like new gags to show. And here Doomsday rips open some sort of a power line, and it blows up huge, and like the whole city encounters a shockwave, and all these guys get scattered. And then here's Lex Luthor at the time with the Supergirl at the time. So Supergirl, because of John Byrne's BSE reboot, one of the things I never liked that John Byrne instituted was that Superman was the only survivor of Krypton. That means that you can't have the Phantom Zone criminals, you can't have Supergirl and all that stuff. So they wanted Supergirl anyways to maintain the copyright, so some shape-shifting alien called the Matrix comes and becomes Supergirl. It's ridiculous. And I know some people love that because they took it far. I mean, like, she had her own series and everything. And then at one point, like, she gets, like, fire wings. It's just convoluted. But she's also dating Lex Luthor, another weird thing. And so she's like, I gotta, like, help Superman. Like, this is getting out of hand. And he's like, sure. Of course, he's blaming Superman for all this. Like, He just attracted this guy here to destroy Metropolis. Like, he has a grudge against Superman, and because Superman's here, he's endangering the city. Whatever. Just a typical villain thing. So Supergirl goes to help Superman. Superman's like cape is ripped off at this point. He gets slashed, and of course here's that black blood. It's not that Kryptonians bleed black, it's just they're trying to get around the code. And here Bibbo and I think Professor Hamilton, perhaps, are going to shoot some sort of cannon at Doomsday, but Supergirl's in the way. And of course Supergirl gets punched in her face, turns into silly putty, and then she falls to the ground and she's like just a mess. She's the shape-shifting alien again. And she's accusing that thing of being some kind of alien. What a ridiculous idea for a Supergirl. I know, once again, I know people love this Supergirl, but she ain't Supergirl to me. It's just stupidness. Anyways, they shoot the laser at Doomsday. And I remember this game being awesome, Firepower 2000 for Super Nintendo. And of course they list one of the wars as being Desert Storm because that was the most recent thing people knew at the time. So anyways, that doesn't do anything, and then they have to jump off this roof before it blows up, and they have these like protective belts. And Superman's like, I don't know what to do here, but there's all these explosions that triggered from the original explosion, and he saves these two from an orphanage here by shielding it with his body like one of the blasts. And here's, I think it's Dan Turpin and Maggie Sawyer. They're going to try and help out now. This is one of the things that was missing from some of the adaptations for this. Like, I know that recent Death of Superman movie, there wasn't a lot of, like, everyone else tries to weigh in. It's like, you know, there's some Justice League in there, but, like, you know, there's other guys, there's other, you know, like, the cops try to weigh in, and, like, everyone's got their own laser to try and shoot at this thing. So, of course, their laser blasts are not stopping Doomsday. And he scatters them out of the way. And then Superman catches, I guess it's Turpin. This would probably kill Turpin, but anyways, it doesn't here. Like, you know, because Superman's arm must be like, you know, like hitting like a steel bar. But Superman is like, okay, fine, I'm going to figure out what else to do here. So here's more hype about Death of Superman. 75 hasn't even come out yet, and you've got this this promotional shot of like Superman, I guess, dead on the ground with like cracks all over the ground where he impacted. They're also showing Death of Superman Saga, like these are the comics. So they're all limit 2, if you'll notice, because there are lots of speculators and want people buying like 50, right? You had a limit of 2. And there's different versions of 75. There's the newsstand, and there's like the bag. So the newsstand version didn't have the bag, and the bag is what people wanted, and that thing was sold out to hell. You had to pre-order. Like I already had a pull list, and this title was part of it, Superman, and for the most part, like comic stores were basically just upcharging. The actual suggested retail price was around like, you know, $3 or so, marked right on the bag. But, you know, comic stores were selling them for $25, and people were buying them because there was no other way to get them. And here's this famous ad: "Here lies Earth's greatest hero." Really hyping it again. So on sale November 20th. November 20th was the date we all knew. It was coming out, and that was even like, I mean, newscasters would say like, you know, Death of Superman, this is it, November 20th. Everyone knew that date. So Superman's trying to punch Doomsday. There's some bone breaking off here, and other dudes are trying to help out. And they're continuing to fight here, and Superman's like, your rampage ends here, Doomsday, even if it kills me. And he's like, Metropolis is where I hold the line. and continued in Superman 75. And everyone reading this knows what's going to happen in 75. He dies, but we want to see what happens to Doomsday. What's going to happen? And here's all sorts of different letters and stuff. And here's all the editorial notes. Next week, Superman will fight Doomsday as long as there's breath in his body, but will that be enough to prevent the inevitable? He's probably going to die here. And in 2 weeks is too horrible to be true. And the heroes of Metropolis refuse to accept the fact that Earth's greatest hero could really be gone forever. So that's the beginning of the whole funeral for a friend thing. And they keep hyping it. In 3 weeks, this happens, and in 1 month, the heroes of Earth come to Metropolis to pay their last respects, and blah blah blah. The thing is that they still ran these titles like Superman, Man of Steel, Superman starring in Action Comics, etc. The Superman name was still there, so I knew that he was going to come back, right? But most people that didn't understand comics didn't know that. And that's a lot of what was fueling the millions and millions of dollars in sales for this. Here's the Hook video game for Super Nintendo. People didn't like the movie so much, but there's a promotion here. Receive a free Hook soundtrack cassette when you buy any NES, Super Nintendo, or Game Boy Hook video game. And Hook video movie. I guess VHS is what we're trying to say. It's 1990. And here's X Zone. I don't know anything about this game. I'm gonna have to look this up. And that is the penultimate fight. The issue just before Superman buys it. It's fairly exciting stuff. The whole 6-part storyline is kind of this. It's all just like Superman trying different ways to fight Doomsday, and Doomsday just being an unstoppable juggernaut. So I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, and till next time.